Okay, it's 6 o'clock, so good evening, everyone. I'd like to call to order the February 9th, 2026 regular council meeting for the town of Three Rivers. I'll begin by doing a land acknowledgement. In the spirit of reconciliation, we acknowledge that the land upon which we gather is unceded Mi'kmaq territory. Epuig, Prince Edward Island, Mi'kmaq is covered by the historic treaties of peace and friendship. We pay our respects to the indigenous Mi'kmaq people who have occupied this island for over 12,000 years, past, present, and future. We have regrets from Deputy Mayor Jenkins tonight, but at the same time, I would like to appoint Deputy Mayor Jenkins to our planning board to replace former Councillor John Van Dyke. And I'm just not doing it because he isn't here. I've discussed it with him, so he's good with it. I wouldn't do that to him. Okay, next on our next is the approval of the agenda. The motion is that the agenda be approved as presented. A mover and a seconder. Moved by Councillor McFarland, seconded by Councillor McLean. Any comments or additions or such with the agenda? Okay, seeing none, all in favor? Okay. Item 3 on our agenda is disclosure of conflict of interest. Do we have anybody that is in conflict of interest on any of the items on our... No? Okay, we'll move on to adoption of the minutes. Get caught up here. So the adoption of the minutes of the January 12th regular council meeting. You have them in your package. I'll give you a minute or so to have a look at them. Okay, everybody, okay, moved by Councillor Van Donkersgoed, second by Councillor Spin. All in favor of the adoption of those minutes as presented? Okay, those minutes are adopted. Okay, on page 9 is your RCMP report as written. The sergeant cannot be here tonight. He's doing some training. And if there's any questions, you can forward them on to Andrea. Any questions on his report, and staff will reach out and get the answers for you. Okay. Okay, so number 6, we're down to presentations and delegations. We have 2 registered speakers for tonight. The first is Charlie Hicken, and Mr. Hicken wants to talk about the January 12th agenda. If you'd like to come up and tell us your name and address, Charlie, please. As usual, we have 5 minutes. I didn't state that, and anyway, you've heard. We usually read the purpose of the meetings, but I'm sure we can bypass that tonight. We have 5 minutes for speakers, so you can go ahead.
Good evening, Charlie Hicken, Albion. I wish to address you this evening concerning the January 12th Council meeting, Article 7.3, Planning Board Statistics Summary. The Planning and Development Officer spoke about ongoing IRAC appeals. Previously, the Mayor stated ongoing IRAC appeals could not be discussed at Council meetings, yet she did not object when this issue was raised. The planning officer stated re this appeal that he was just waiting a decision now, which he expected probably within the next 3 to 4 weeks. Upon hearing this, I was surprised because I had not been informed of this. I contacted IRAC and they assured me nobody had received this information. Therefore, the planning officer had provided false and misleading information at this meeting. Before contacting IRAC, I reviewed the written agenda for this meeting and discovered that it had been altered to read, continued success where appeals are concerned. I do not know if altering a public document is illegal, but it is definitely unacceptable. This makes it very difficult for the public to have any trust or faith in these proceedings. Questions?
Anybody have any questions, Mr. Hicken? Okay, seeing none.
So I do have
Yeah,
one,
okay.
but Charlie, it's not related to tonight, but it is related to something you mentioned at the last meeting, if that's okay.
Yes?
So the last meeting, you mentioned that parcel number 819755 doesn't pay property charges, property taxes.
No, what I stated was it doesn't pay property taxes on that residence.
It doesn't pay property, so what we looked at, it's assessed at $58,000, and there's $844 in annual charges.
That's correct, but there's no residential assessment. It's paying taxes on 2 sheds which are not on the property.
All it says
And
is
nothing on- and nothing on the building.
non-commercial. It's just listed as non-commercial.
But the resident is not being taxed, the residence itself. There's a home on the property.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to, all I know is that it's, and I don't know enough about the charges right now. I just know that they are charged almost $900 a year in taxes.
Yes, I was aware of that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, our next speaker is Sabrina Chang. Sabrina, if you tell us, state your name for our records and your where you live.
Sure. So good evening, Mayor, Councilors, Planning Board, and residents of the Three Rivers. My name is Sabrina Chang, and I'm a resident of Three Rivers. We're here today to share some updates with all of you. Since the last time we were here, we had the holiday tea event, which we talked about. And also November was a special time for us. His Holiness the Dalai Lama, he turned 90, and we wanted to give him a special birthday gift. So our nuns joined the monks at Jebus. So there were a total of 186 of us, and we offered an in-person recitation, like we memorized Buddhist texts, to His Holiness. So it was a very long and arduous flight to India. Some of us even made stops in Africa. But everywhere we went, we'd say hello and tell people we're from PEI. And we recited a very prominent Buddhist text. It's nicknamed the Iron Bow. It was no easy feat. The text was extremely challenging to memorize, and we also decided to sing it in a very special prayer format, which made it even more challenging. But with months of practice, we did it. And afterwards, we told His Holiness the Dalai Lama, he told us that, and this is on his website. He said, "As I listened to you recite it by heart, I clearly remembered its meaning, which brought me special joy." And so we feel extremely blessed, as nowadays His Holiness the Dalai Lama, he rarely grants private audiences with groups because he's already 90. And this is the first time so many people have memorized this text in his presence. And so we'll never forget the look of joy on his face, because he's a very special teacher of ours. Most of us were ordained by the Dalai Lama. And it inspires us to continue with our Buddhist practice and studies, and we hope we can repay his kindness. On another note, we're holding 2 events in February. So this coming Saturday on February 14th, which is Valentine's Day, we'll be having a book reading event from 2 to 3 p.m. at the Montague Rotary Library, and we'll be reading passages from a book called Kindling Hope. This book, our nuns helped translate in a 6-year-long translation project. And Panel Street Press in Charlottetown, they helped us publish the book last year. And this Saturday is going to be our 3rd book reading event. We're going to be bringing hot milk tea. It's kind of a sweet beverage. It's quite nice. And we invite everyone to join us at the library, and feel free to bring your own thermos if you'd like some hot milk tea. And also we invite everyone to celebrate the Lunar New Year at our monastery in Brudenell on Saturday, February 22nd from 2 to 4 p.m. Sunday, February 22nd from 2 to 4 p.m. It's the Year of the Horse, and we have good food, fun, and lots of good luck activities just prepared for the guests. You can strike the large bell. It's like really, really large in our prayer hall, and you can strike that for world peace, and a wish on the wall of wishes for your loved ones, or you can make your own handmade dumpling, and so on. There's like a lot of activities. I won't list them all out. And so you can feel free to keep an eye on our Facebook page, gwbi.pei, as we post information closer to the date. And if anyone you know, or if you are interested, would like to schedule a time to visit our prayer hall, or you know a group that's interested in attending a mindfulness session or presentations, please let us know and feel free to email us at bonjour@gwbi.org. Or you can simply reach out to us on Facebook. And we've also recently added an FAQ section on our website, gwbi.org. If you have any questions, or if you hear any questions about the nuns, our construction, land, events, etc., please feel free to check out the website. It's gwbi.org. And so thank you for listening to me speak today. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, Sabrina, and thank you for the invitations.
Thank you.
Okay, I think that's all our presentation. So down to number 7, which is the mayor's report. It's in your package. I'll just go over it briefly. Even though it's January and it's cold, we're still there's still a lot going on in Three Rivers and Town Hall. I want to start by recognizing the tremendous success of Winterval 2026. The festival brought a welcome economic boost to our local businesses and created a vibrant sense of community during the winter season. My sincere thanks goes to Jonathan Gardner and all of the staff for their excellent work in organizing the event, and to the many volunteers who made contributions to Winterval possible. For more information on the upcoming festivals in Three Rivers, we have a Facebook page, which is Three Rivers Festival Series. It was really cold down there. Ann and I took in some of the festivities. I think Martina, Martina, yes, you were there. And it was cool. They had to move some of the festivities, activities, I should say, inside. But anyway, it ended up to be a great weekend. John and I met with the newly elected Member of Parliament, Honourable Kent MacDonald, to discuss several issues affecting our region. And we look forward to working collaboratively with our MP on matters of importance to Three Rivers. I was interviewed by a staff from the PEI Federation of Municipalities for an upcoming article in Atlantic Municipal Magazine. The focus is on the growing concern that harassment of municipal officials is discouraging candidates from running for office. It's an issue that's affecting municipalities all across Canada, and some provinces are even considering legislative responses. The article will appear in the magazine next month. I attended the PEI-FM board meeting in Charlottetown, and some of the agenda items on that board meeting were pre-election training and awareness initiatives for the upcoming November 2026. For anybody that is interested in running, they are doing some training. They were doing some planning for a semi-annual meeting and updates and discussions on several additional municipal matters. The meetings continue to be valuable opportunities to connect with representatives from communities of all sizes, share ideas, and learn from the experience of other jurisdictions. As usual, throughout the month, I met with a number of residents, responded to inquiries, and if anybody wishes to reach me, I'm always available. You can get the information on the town website, and that's my report for this month. I'll turn it over to John now for his CAO report, which is on page 21.
Thanks, Your Worship. Report is in the package. I'll not go through it verbatim. I'll just touch on a few highlights. We're well on our way on the development of our operating and capital budget for 26-27. We've got a draft operating budget that we're pretty close to completing and bringing to council. We've received and reviewed the grant applications. We plugged them into the draft budget, and then we started working on the capital, and we'll be looking for updates and recommendations. Likely schedule a special meeting after the next COC meeting, so there'll be a budget meeting 2 weeks from tonight. So we'll tack that onto the regular meeting. Again, our December report is again quite strong, showing an operating surplus exceeding 400,000. And once you back out, which allowed us to reinvest in capital projects, and you still have a positive position even after you back that out. Just one more comment. One of the things that we've changed over the last while, and it may have been Charlie that recommended this, was to provide and include our financial reports in our meeting packages. This wasn't done until sometime last year. And I think it's a really good thing because it shows a level of transparency and allows the residents to see very clearly how we're managing their tax dollars. On the human resource side of things, we did an application with the Cavendish Farms Wellness Center for a admin assistant position. I think we received over 40 applicants and shortlisted a number of people, and we'll be doing interviews in the next week. In addition, senior management team under the direction and guidance of the Deputy CAO and with support from MC Advisory, we've been reviewing our staff policies, and as a result we have a couple that will be amended on the agenda for tonight. And the change and modernization of those policies along with the development of new policies allows us to manage our organization in a way that's committed to the people that work here and the folks that pay the bills. Just a short note from the Code of Conduct complaint investigations. I understand they're going well. I don't know who's been interviewed or what's been said, but I do know that we're anticipating a report possibly by the end of this month or early March, and once it's received, it'll be provided to counsel, the complainant, and the respondent, and retained by myself. And there's process that we'll follow once those turn in. Again, I want to reiterate what the mayor said about the Winterville Festival. Great success, and the extreme cold did create some conditions that required several activities moved indoors. Heard great things about it, and again, great thanks to staff and volunteers for all helping out. Great to see TCAP pool reopen. The town and TCAP board did send out a request for proposals to a number of consultants on an invitation basis, looking at a jurisdictional scan to see what communities our size are doing to provide similar services. We should receive those by the 12th of February, and then hopefully we'll have something that we can bring to council here in the next little bit. The only other comment I would make, we have released a number of videos, and there'll be several more with staff and a couple of councillors and a number of residents that basically been created to tell the story of Three Rivers and why it's a great place to work, run a business, and we can use those over the next while to help promote the community. Again, it's a place to live and a place to do business. So that's my report in a nutshell, Your Worship.
Thank you, John. Okay, now we are on to 7.3, which is the development report, and it's in your package and it's as written. Even for January, it's you can see that there's still a lot taking place and a lot of applications being received. So you wouldn't normally see this, and I don't know if we normally see this in January, but it's great to see that there's still lots going on in the town, and that our planning staff are busy. And next is the development permit report, and the planning board report, and I'll turn that over to Ann.
Thank you, Your Worship. All right, we have a development application 201.25-REZ at 406 McIntyre Avenue. The planning board recommends to council to approve the following motions. That council approve first and second readings and adoption of a proposed zoning and development bylaw amendment to rezone the lands located at 406 McIntyre Avenue, Montague, PID 849158, from R3 High Density Residential to C Community in accordance with the Town of Three Rivers Development Bylaw 2023-2038.
Okay, you've heard the motion. Need a mover and a seconder for that? Okay, moved by John, seconded by Alan. Any questions or comments or to Ann on that motion? And, okay, that's to be read the first time, so all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion is carried. Okay, Ann?
Okay, 201.25.REZ, first reading. Be it resolved that proposed zoning and development bylaw to rezone the lands located at 406 McIntyre Avenue, Montague, PID 849158, from R3 to C in accordance with the Town of Three Rivers bylaw 2023 to 2038 be read for the first time.
Okay, you've heard the motion. I need a mover and a seconder.
This is the approval one. First reading for the approval, first approval,
For first reading.
first reading.
First reading.
Okay, so moved by Councillor McFarland, second by Councillor McDonald. Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
201.25.REZ, first approval. Be it resolved that the proposed zoning and development bylaw to rezone the lands located at 406 McIntyre Avenue, Montague, PID 849158, from R3 to C in accordance with the Town of Three Rivers bylaw 2023 to 2038 be approved.
okay, you've heard the motion. It's to approve. Moved by Councillor Monroe, second by Councillor McFarland. Any comments? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Motion is carried. Okay.
Okay, I'll get there.
Let you continue, Ann. We're at 7.4.2.1, are we? Yep.
So the development application 209.25 REZ, land east of AA McDonald Highway Route 4, PIDs 1186501 and 165605. So the planning board recommends to council to approve the following motions. One, the council approve the proposed official plan amendment to redesignate the lands as part of the Montague Urban Settlement Area located on the land east of AA McDonald Highway Route 4, PID 1186501 and 165605, shown on Schedule A Land Use and Road Network in accordance with the Town of Three Rivers Official Plan 2023 to 2038. And that the council approve first and second readings and adoption of the proposed zoning and bylaw amendment to rezone the lands located on lands east of AA McDonald Highway Route 4, PIDs 1186501 and 165605, from agriculture to community in accordance with the Town of Three Rivers Development Bylaw 2023 to 2038.
Okay, you've heard the motion. Need a mover and a seconder. Moved by Councillor Spin, second by Councillor McFarland. Any questions for Ann on this? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carried.
Okay.
And then we have 7.4.2.
209.25.REZ Official Plan Schedule AA Amendment Approval. Be it resolved that council approve the proposed official plan amendment to redesignate the lands as part of the Montague Urban Settlement Area located on land east of AA McDonald Route 4 PIDs 1186501 and 165605 shown on Schedule A Land Use and Road Network in accordance with the Town of Three Rivers Official Plan 2023 to 2038.
Okay, the motion, you've heard the motion for the first reading?
No, for the amendment.
For the, oh, I'm sorry, for the amendment, okay. All in favor, or need a mover and a seconder? Moved by Council McDonald, second by Council McFarland. Any questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, Ann, you can continue.
209.25.REZ first reading. Be it resolved that the proposed zoning and development bylaw amendment to rezone the lands located on lands east of AA McDonald Highway Route 4, PIDs 1186501 and 165605 from agriculture to community in accordance with the Town of Three Rivers Development Bylaw 2023 to 2038 be read a first time.
Okay, you've heard the motion. A mover and a seconder, please. So moved by Councilor McLean and second by Councilor Spin. Any questions for Ann on that? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Okay, 209.25.REZ first approval. Be it resolved that the proposed zoning and development bylaw amendment to rezone the lands located on land east of AA McDonald Highway, Route 4, PIDs 1186501 and 165605 from agriculture to community in accordance with the Town of Three Rivers Development Bylaw 2023 to 2038 be approved.
okay, you've heard the motion. A mover and a seconder. Moved by Councilor McFarland, second by Councilor McDonald. Any questions for Ann? All in favor? Okay, motion is carried. Okay, now we're down to 7.4.3, Ann, I believe. Okay.
Okay, the Town of Three Rivers Planning Board recommends to council to approve the following motions. Condition 1, final subdivision approval shall be granted by the development officer only where the developer has complied with all applicable requirements of this bylaw and has submitted 5 copies of the final subdivision plan showing all lots pinned and certified by a surveyor registered to practice in Prince Edward Island. 2, the development officer shall give notice of final approval of a subdivision in writing and shall place the town seal on the 5 copies of the subdivision plan and shall return 1 copy to the applicant. 3, final approval of a subdivision plan shall not be given by a development officer until all conditions have been discharged. The survey plan has been submitted for recommendation to any appropriate provincial or federal government departments. B, any other pertinent documents have been prepared and concluded to the satisfaction of the development officer. Condition 4, the following constitutes the approved plans. The development permit application received December 18th, 2025, and the preliminary plan drawing dated August 7th, 2025.
Okay, you've heard the motion. I need a mover and a seconder, please. Moved by Councilor McLean, second by Councilor McFarland. Any questions for Ann on that? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion is carried. Okay, I think we're down to, that's everything, right? Down to the financial report, it's in your package. I'll ask Dawn if she wants to give us a brief overview, or Dawn can speak to it.
Thank you, Your Worship. So this financial statement is for the 9th period of the year, December 31st, 2025. Our revenues came in $321,463 above our projected budget. The expenses came under budget by $190,503. That left us an operating surplus of $411,620. And after some capital purchases and principal loan repayments, we ended with a cash flow surplus of $37,863. Still healthy.
Any questions for Don? It's great to see some purchases rather, out of our operating surplus rather than, borrowing money for sure. That was, some nice purchases there that we were able to afford. Anyway, okay, thank you, Don. Okay, next is request for decisions, from the Committee of Council meeting. So the first request for decision is RF 26-01, the COVID vaccination policy amendment. And the motion is, be it resolved that policy number TRHR-22, Town of Three Rivers COVID vaccination policy amendment is hereby approved and written as adopted. So I need a mover and a seconder. Moved by Councillor Van Donkersgoed, second by Councillor McLean. Any more discussion on that? We discussed that at the last COC. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay, that is approved. Vaccination. Okay, the next is respectful RFD 26-02, respectful workplace policy amendment. Let me get the motion up here. Okay, so the motion is, be it resolved that policy number TRHR-23, Town of Three Rivers Respectful Workplace Policy Amendment is hereby adopted and approved as written. Mover and a seconder, please. Moved by Councillor Van Donkersgoed, second by Councillor McLean. Any discussion on that policy? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay, motion is carried. Okay, the next is TRHR it's FRD 26-03, Design Services for Utility Building in Montague. And the motion is, be it resolved that the contract for design services for the Montague Sewer Utility Building be awarded to Arch Work in the amount of $55,700 plus HST, which brings it up to $64,055. Funding will be obtained from the Montague Sewer and Water Utilities General Operations. Moved by Councillor McFarland and second by Councillor Monroe. Any questions on that? Okay, all in favor? Okay, that motion is carried. Now we're on to FRD 26-04, application for MSC funding for the utility building in Montague. So the motion is, be it resolved that the Town of Three Rivers apply for municipal strategic funding in the amount of $500,000 to construct a new sewer utility building in Montague. Additional funding needed for the project will be sourced from the Montague Water and Sewer Utility. Need a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor Spin, second by Councillor McFarland. Any comments, questions, discussion? Okay, all in favor? Okay, motion is carried. Okay. The next is 26-05's solar panels for the Three Rivers Sportsplex. The motion is, be it resolved that Hanson's Electric be awarded the contract to install solar panels at the Three Rivers Sportsplex in the amount of $177,356 plus HST, which brings it up to $203,952.50. Funding will be sourced from the Community Renewable Energy Generation Fund and the Three Rivers Sportsplex operating accounts. Mover and seconder, moved by Councillor Spin, second by Councillor Van Donkersgoed. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay, and I believe that is it. Okay, a motion to adjourn. Counselor Monroe, second by Counselor McDonald. All in favor? Okay, thank you. We didn't miss anything, did we? No.